Okay, this is a conversation with Fran Lopez. Fran Lopez is a friend and praise band member and colleague from Paola United Methodist Church, and I consider her a good friend. So I've asked Fran to share her views about my role here at Paola United Methodist Church and to share her views about me personally. And we're going to ask the questions that are on page 74 of the Candidacy Guidebook. So, Fran, thank you for coming.
Sure.
And first question is, how would you view me, Mark Salvacion, from the perspective of my being in leadership positions of the church, particularly being chair of the finance committee and being chair of the stewardship committee, and what's your perspective of me in those roles?
I think you came into those roles with a lot of experience and knowledge about the task at hand and how to, and you bring a skill being able to communicate details to people so that we can understand the day-to-day financial needs of the church, but also our interconnectivity to the larger United Methodist Church, so we can view our responsibilities. And that was really helpful. I thought the stewardship program was amazing because of the videos that you did, interviewing people of all ages in the church and asking important questions about what they like about the church, what they'd like to improve, what the youth mission means to us, what mission means to us. And it was very moving. And it sparked a lot of conversation among, and the financial response was powerful. You know, like you really got us focused as to what our funds, why our funds are needed, and where they're going. So that was well done.
So Fran, we're both in the Rising Sun Praise Band, and we've been together in Rising Sun for about a year now. You know, I view Rising Sun to be one of our ministries and to be a vehicle for us to bear witness to Christ. So just if you could talk generally about our being together in Rising Sun and whether you see that as a witness also of our commitment to Jesus Christ.
Oh, without a doubt, when we get together to practice, you know, there's so many layers of ministry. There's we're connecting with each other and supporting each other in our lives and our families. We're collaborative music with our music. We're all learning from each other. Selection of songs, you know, looking at the power of the lyrics and how that can reach out to our congregation and then to wherever else we might perform. So I think we're all on the same track with that. And we don't take it lightly. We also are aware of where the real power lies. You know, it's this Holy Spirit that guides us to our songs, and that sparks our enthusiasm and energy as we perform. So we definitely view ourselves as we're a conduit for God's grace, and we're all touched by that. So yeah, I think we're all on that same page. And I think you bring. As you joined the group, you came in with a lot of other musical experience and were able to contribute that. I also think you're a team player. You know, like you lead from example of, you know, sharing ideas, but also stepping back and letting someone else do this, putting our strengths together. You know, one classic example. I mean, to me, I know you love playing the bass, and the founder of our band is a bass player. And you're very graciously put that aside and play the other instruments. So I think that says a lot.
So, Fran, you know, as we both know, this has been a challenging time for Paoli. It's been sort of a rocky couple of years due to finances and due to things happening at the church, transitions with senior pastor and transitions in the congregation. How do you see me in the role of being a problem solver or addressing hard issues that we've had to deal with at the church in the last year? And you know, what's your opinion or perspective on my role in the church in that regard?
I see several things. One, I think you've been extremely supportive to Pastor Alice in being, in talking through some of the challenges. and supporting her in her role. I know you've been in communication with finance and the admin council and doing that. I've not been to those committee meetings, but I've heard some of your summaries, and I think you have the gift of being able to distill information with clarity. The other thing I think you handled really well was when we needed to, we were no longer able to fund our youth minister, and that was a great sadness to the church. And I think you did a good job of explaining the reality of the finances to parents and to the youth, and to myself as well. And that I thought that was handled really well.
Great. And last question here. And please, feel free to be brutally honest. But as my friend and as my colleague and as someone who worships together with me, where would you see some areas for me for personal growth?
I would say you have your natural tendency when there's a problem is to step in there with your competency and your experience and your commitment and jump in there and fix it and be the key point person on it. I think that's one of your strengths, but I also think in the future there may be people who think that who would like you to come at it a little bit softer, more collaboratively. So, if that's the word, if you're in a new setting, if people don't know you, some people might step back and say, "Oh,
So in your experience, you've perceived me as coming on strong sometimes.
There have been a couple occasions, but I mean, not in an obnoxious way. like, okay, which way did he mean that? So I don't want to give you that impression. Because if you were, we love you and we will let you know if you do come up that way. But some people have, in a new situation where there may be a set way of doing things, and you may be able to see in a heartbeat how to fix it. And I think I would, in those situations, come in real gentle because I recognize that people are going to have attachment to the way it was done, and to help you facilitate people to see a different way of doing it versus hauling off and doing it.
Right.
Right.
Well, that's great, and thank you very much for sharing your time, and thanks very much for being honest, and really very, very much appreciate you helping me as I proceed as a ministerial candidate in this annual conference.
Well, we're honored that you are communicating with us and allowing us to support you in this. I'm inspired by you, and I am your sister, and I will support you forever.
Great. Thanks, sister.
All right.